Hajat Hadija Namialo encouraged Muslims to utilize the holy month of Ramadan to foster unity and contribute to the development of their country. She expressed gratitude to the Arab countries for their solidarity with the Muslim community during this period. Take a watch.
هناك بالفعل تسامح وتعايش بين المسلمين والمسيحيين والطوائف الأخرى. فما التمسته في هذه خلال فترة عملي في جمهورية أوغندا بهذا القدر من التسامح بين جميع الطوائف.
That for me, as Hadija, my interest is to see all Muslims unite. For me, I don't have a particular mosque I pray from. As long as the Salah gets me in Kamocha, I'll pray in that mosque, that particular mosque from Kamocha. If it finds me at Stream Council, I'll pray from there. If it finds me at Chibuli, I'll pray from there. I don't go into the segregation, the fights of Muslims.
mu mwezi nga guno gwa Ramadhan teri abadde alowooza ku basiraamu nga beeyize mu madisitulikiti gaabwe naye olwaleero kula nti ne woofiisi y'omukulembeze w'eggwanga evaayo nerowooza ku musiraamu ali mu kisiibo
nti ku kyenfunye wano Hajjat Hadija atugambye nti buli musiraamu gy'ali ajja kufuna ettu era olwaleero ffe tuvuddewo nga tufunye ettu lyaffe ate agambye ajja kutuuka ku mizikiti n'olwekyo emizikiti gyonna gye muli eyo nze nnyongera kubagumya Hajjat Hadija Namyalo yakwanye emikwano emirungi.
So Hajjat mwebaza okubeera omukyalo munnaddiini nti yavuddeyo ne yeetondera abasiraamu n'eggwanga otwaliza wamu olw'ebyo ebyalabibwa ebitaalabika bulungi. Era essaawa zino Hajjat agezaako okutuukiriza ebyo byali apulaanize.
Okukebera ebintu abantu bakakase bye babawadde nja kusaba bwe tugenda okufuna tujja sigala nga.
Now, Ugandans have been urged to embrace productivity in all their endeavors while holding on to the faith and hope exemplified by Jesus during his resurrection day. The remarks were echoed by the State Minister for Planning, Amos Lugolobi, during a gathering that was aimed at fostering unity among the people of the Kuku community. At the event, the Musalaba Evangelical Choir launched a new music album with the objective of promoting the Word of God and instilling faith, culture and values within the Kuku community.
Mukama yebale nnyo okubakozesa. Era ensi gye tutambuliramu erimu ebizibu bingi. Ebizibu bingi bwe bikusanga oli mugayaavu nga teweesize Mukama Katonda. Bonkoda bako yindikin bari kongun. Ebizibu biyinza okukulyawo ne bikujjawo.
We are in the stand to work together with our community, Kuku Community Trustee, to guide us and to promote our language, especially in the side of the young children. Our young children cannot talk Kuku very well.
The Kuku, they are very strong on certain values. One of the key values is the fear of God. They are so religious, they fear God, and therefore they are so disciplined. I have not seen such a disciplined community in Uganda like they are. If anyone goes out one of their values, they are punished by the community because they always live in solidarity, together, you know, as one family.
But Kuku Community Trustee, they have stand in the side of writing some other dictionaries to teach our young generation, our young children generation to learn Kuku properly, and they can speak Kuku and Luganda and English.
Mu constitution ya Uganda mwetuli yensonga tufuba nnyo okulaba nti abaana baffe nabo baveeyo bamanyike mu kuyimba mu bitone mu byonna ebirina okukolebwa n'okumanya Katonda naddala okumanya ekigambo kya Katonda.
Let's go to Soroti sub-region now, where the Minister of State for Fisheries, Helen Adoa Abeku, has urged women to reduce their attendance at churches and focus on nurturing their children. Speaking during Easter Monday prayers at St. Peter's Cathedral, Soroti, Minister Adoa emphasized the significance of women working alongside their husbands in child upbringing. Soroti Diocese Bishop Reverend Kosea Odongo encouraged people to seek reconciliation with one another and to strive for behavioral change.
I am not saying women should not go for overnights, but let it not be a habit of going for overnights and abandoning your house duties, abandoning your children. There are women today who say they are prophets, they are what, but when you see the behavior of their children.
We must do things the way Christ wants us to do. He said, don't touch me, don't hold on me, but go and tell my disciples what I have seen, what I have told you. That I'm returning to my Father, who is your Father, to my God, who is your God. This is the message everybody must hear, including the corrupt, they must hear this. Including politicians who fight one another, they must hear this. May you today go back and reconcile with your neighbors. Tell them, I have seen the Lord.
Indeed, reconciliation is very good in as far as coexistence is concerned. Now to Somalia, where the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, has honored the outgoing force commander, Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, for his exemplary leadership and steering the mission to success during his tenure. Lieutenant General Okiding is scheduled to depart the ATMIS mission area to take up a new post as Uganda's Deputy Chief of Defense Forces. At a farewell event held at the ATMIS Force headquarters in Mogadishu, the AU Chairperson's Deputy Special Representative for Somalia, Sivuyile Bam, commended Lieutenant General Okiding for his stewardship of the multinational African Peace Support Operation. Senior ATMIS military officers, led by the Deputy Force Commander in charge of operations and plans, Major General Marias Ngenabanga, and counterpart in charge of support and logistics, Major General Peter Muteti, attended the event. The ATMIS Deputy Force Commander in charge of operations and plans, Major General Marias Ngendabanga, praised Lieutenant General Okiding for leading the ATMIS military. Take a watch.
In it, across all sectors.
Now it's going to be hard about Somalia operations. We are going to fight for this operation, especially in the areas of enablers. Enablers, we are still lagging behind. And as we continue drawing down, the force is shrinking, so we need alternatives. So I think that side I will be in a better position to advocate for our operations. If you're a thief, you'll always be beaten.
Now, Uganda Bureau of Statistics has advised public to adhere to being counted for proper planning in the coming 2024 census, set to commence from the 10th to the 19th of May 2024. Now, this follows the report from the last census in 2014, where some deliberately refused being counted, basing on their beliefs and culture. And now this appeal was made by James Mwonge, the Director, Methodology and Statistical Coordination Service at UBOS, during the engagement with LC1 and 2 chairpersons in Nakawa Division, and the meeting intended to sensitize on their role during the exercise.
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics will conduct census exercise from 10th to 19th May 2024 after the period of 10 years for the last census in 2014. UBOS is meeting local council chairpersons and sensitizing them on their role and responsibility during the mapping exercise. In Nakawa Division, the Director, Methodology and Statistical Coordination Service at UBOS, James Mwonge, advised the local leaders to support the exercise.
The key thing is they become our ambassadors at the village level to try to convey the message, because our target is everybody should be counted.
He warned the perpetuators that plan to sabotage the exercise basing on their beliefs will not be tolerated.
We will reach out to all religious leaders to tell them that counting people has nothing to do with, or is not in conflict with any religion. And so that's what we can do as much as possible. Because as I said, everybody will have spent a night, say on 10th in Uganda, will be counted.
The Secretary General and Community Affairs, Nusura Mbabazi, represented the Mayor Paul Mugambe of Nakawa Division, who appealed to chairpersons to sensitize residents on the benefits of the exercise.
Should work hand in hand with the community members so that they sensitize people on the activity of the census, which is going to take place in May. Because if they are not sensitized, people will be mistaken that these are the people who have come to grab our land, which can even cause insecurity within the areas.
So we've been inducting them, taking them through and even reminding them about their roles. Because they are supposed to mobilize the communities, they are supposed to actually inform the communities, even to popularize this activity.
Moses Sempa, the town clerk, emphasizes on the importance of census.
This gives us a planning framework to see how much money, for example, we shall need to collect garbage from all these households, considering the fact that each household produces not less than a kilogram of garbage. So we need to know also in the coming 10 years, how many households shall we be planning for, and how many residents of Nakawa shall we be planning?
Nakawa is one of the divisions of Kampala. The 2014 census showed that it has over 8,000 homesteads. I'm Nafka Farida and Andrews Sebida.
It's coming to 13 minutes after 1 in the studios of UBC TV. Lunchtime news takes a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're Soroti. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Junko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're Soroti. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Toro segment. Follow the romantic tale of an adventurous prince, Kaboyoka Susunkwanzi, who fell in love with a beautiful county.
Toro Kingdom was carved out of Bunyoro Kitale.
In 1830,
King Nyamutukura akasindika omutabani we.
Kaboyo yekile Toro kama twongere kumutwekere bukodo.
I'm forming my own kingdom. Nyoro na Batoro basically muntu womu.
Tuko Pamoja? Premiering on Saturday, 6 April 2024 at Ndere Center, Ntinda from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660.
Welcome back from that break, and this is Lunchtime News here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at our business story. And thousands of Kibale residents and leaders welcomed Minister Kasaija, lauding President Museveni for reappointing him as Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development. We have more in this story.
Minister Kasaija was welcomed at Chitoma, Karukuza and at his home by Greater Chivale members of parliament, resident district commissioners, leaders at various levels who thanked President Museveni for reappointing him as Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
From Buyanja here to welcome him at his home. He's a good leader in Chivale, in Bunyoro and the country. At his term, he has served well. We have seen good roads. We have seen there are minimum scandals in his ministry.
The minister, also Buyanja County Member of Parliament in Chibale District, thanked President Museveni for reappointing him and pledged to work tirelessly for the good of the people, but also asked residents to embrace PDM. Meanwhile, the Chivale Resident District Commissioner Godwin Angalia Kasigwa and Dr. Emery Kugonza, the MP for Buyanja East County, thanked President Museveni for remembering Greater Chivale and the Bunyoro sub-region with cabinet ministers, including Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja.
We sincerely thank the President because we always believe that when one person supports you in one way or the other, you must support him. We have supported the NRM government since inception. Every time there is an election, there has been an election, we have always voted with the highest amount of votes possible.
And moving further afield, as NATO marks its 75th anniversary this week, the Alliance and America's role in European security are issues that separate U.S. presidential candidates Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Shortages for recent territorial losses. The Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives has failed to throw Kyiv a lifeline, refusing to bring a vote on a Senate-passed emergency spending bill with $60 billion to support Ukraine.
Nobody agrees with what Putin's done. But when we're taking our hard-earned tax dollars and sending them 5,000 miles away without any end in sight, meanwhile, our border's wide open and our American citizens are being murdered on their streets, that's a problem.
But most of the funds lawmakers have approved to arm Ukraine aren't going directly there. They're being spent here in the United States in plants like this York, Pennsylvania plant in the congressman's district to build new weapons and to replace the old weapons sent to Kyiv from U.S. stockpiles. The York plant is one of dozens of defense industrial facilities injected with congressional funds in support of Ukraine's fight.
And those facilities range from private factories to government laboratories to ammunition plants that are World War I or World War II era that are desperately in need of modernization.
VOA gained rare access to the Scranton Army ammunition plant, about 3 hours north of York, to see firsthand how those tax dollars are spent. Here, steel rods are molded in the fiery Scranton furnaces, forged into 155mm artillery round shells. The shells are cooled, inspected, and painted to prevent rusting before they're shipped off to be packed with explosives. Northeast Pennsylvania production has doubled from 14,000 155mm shells per month at the start of the Ukraine war to 28,000 per month today. And plant contractor General Dynamics says that number will jump to 36,000 per month when a new production line in a nearby plant goes live in a few weeks.
This is one complete production line infrastructure that you're looking at.
Rich Hansen, who oversees the plant for the Army, says $418 million in taxpayer dollars is funding 20 modernization projects here.
The employee levels, certainly it has increased, and I believe that GD said that it will continue to increase to match the production lines that we install.
200 more new jobs at this plant alone. But a General Dynamics official tells VOA those jobs won't come without increased funding from Congress. And Congressman Matt Cartwright says those jobs will make a difference in places like Scranton.
It's a big shot in the arm. I mean, Scranton, northeastern Pennsylvania, has kind of been bumping along economically.
But while the jobs are important, what's more important, he says, is making sure the U.S. doesn't turn its back on Ukraine.
Not only is it un-American, I'm here to tell you it's un-Pennsylvanian, okay? We have always stood up for democracy and freedom wherever it exists, and I don't think we should change that policy now.
The Army says it needs to produce 100,000 155mm rounds per month starting in 2025 to replenish the more than 2 million rounds the U.S. has sent to Ukraine and to keep giving Kyiv enough rounds to defend itself. The U.S. defense industry won't reach that goal, defense officials say, without supplemental funding from Congress. Carla Babb, VOA News, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
And we do apologize for the slight mix-up of the stories there, but that one was about the U.S. Congress that left Washington for a break without deciding on a supplemental funding bill to arm Ukraine and other allies. And of course, Republicans who oppose the funding say Congress should spend its money on domestic concerns. But now let's go to this other story, which is about NATO, which is about marking its 75th anniversary this week. And of course, the alliance and America's role in European security are issues that separate U.S. presidential candidates Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Take a watch.
North Atlantic Treaty Organization remains the most direct U.S. engagement in European security. Founded after the Second World War, NATO originally joined the United States and 11 European nations in promising to come to each other's aid if any one of them is attacked. Then U.S. President Harry Truman.
If there is anything certain today, if there is anything inevitable in the future, it is the will of the people of the world for freedom and for peace.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine, NATO's response, and what it says about America's role in European security separate U.S. presidential candidates Joe Biden and Donald Trump. When he was president, Trump told NATO leaders they were not paying enough for their own protection.
The one that benefits really the least is the United States. We benefit the least. We're helping Europe. Europe unites and they go against a common foe. That may or may not be a foe. Can't tell you that. But there are other foes out there also.
5 years later, Trump told a campaign rally in South Carolina that getting tough with NATO members worked.
NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. And everybody, you never saw more money pour in.
NATO has grown since the Trump administration. Sweden and Finland joined the alliance in the last year or so. In its biggest expansion since the fall of the Soviet Union, allowed Eastern European countries to join NATO. Biden says standing up to Russian aggression together shows NATO is working.
Before the war started, I told Putin that if he invaded Ukraine, NATO would not only get stronger, but would get more united. Today.
As president, Trump prioritized relations with Russia and Vladimir Putin. Campaigning for a second term, he recalled a NATO leader asking about Russian threats.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
Biden says that approach to European security is dangerous for America.
A former Republican president tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want. That's a quote.
A former president actually said that bowing down to a Russian leader, I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Trump told the conservative British television network GB News that he backs NATO if everyone pays their fair share.
If they play fair, if they start to play fair, America's there.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Thank you.
Biden says NATO is stronger and more united than ever and is central to the.
Now to Ecuador, where tens of thousands of people have fled Ecuador in the last several months amid an unprecedented surge in gang violence. Rising crime, along with lack of economic opportunities, have more Ecuadorians setting their sights on a better life in the United States.
Corely Sanchez was first caught in Ecuador's gang violence as a child. Her father worked as a hitman for Los Lagartos, a gang founded in prisons in the city of Guayaquil. One of his enemies shot her.
Here, and back here, and that was when I was 5 years old. I lost a lot of blood.
Her father's role in the gang later destroyed her family entirely. Corely's brother was recruited into rival gang Los Choneros, who are linked to Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel. 2 years ago, when her brother was just 17, the Choneros ordered him to murder his own father.
My brother's gang said that they'd kill him if he didn't kill my father himself. But they ended up killing my brother too, his own gang.
Sanchez left Ecuador with her best friend, who closed the store she owned because she couldn't afford extortion payments the gangs demanded. They'll soon cross into Panama and head for the United States. They hope to escape discrimination and threats they faced as transgender women. Both are from Guayaquil, where gangs fight for control of drug trafficking routes through the city's ports. Ecuador's murder rate has tripled in the last 2 years.
Coming from a country which not so long ago was one of the most peaceful countries in the Americas, this has meant a huge trauma for Ecuador.
Here in Colombia in 2023, a 95% increase from the year before.
Let's have a look now at an item on sports news, and we are looking at golf, where the 2024 edition of the NCBA Junior Open Golf Tournament has climaxed at the Par 72 Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa. Our reporter John Barnes-Sentamo watched the action.
Since 2019, NCBA has partnered with Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa and the US Kids Golf to introduce juniors to the sport while nurturing their skills.
And the idea really for us as NCBA Bank is to try and uplift the game of golf in Uganda. So we support golf quite a bit. There are so many tournaments we sponsor, and we thought it fit that besides doing adult tournaments, we needed also to do the junior golf series as well and uplift the game right from the junior level. That's why we're doing this, and that's why we're here today.
The NCBA Uganda Open Junior Golf Series features multi-day tournaments and camps tailored for junior golfers aged between 6 to 18 years.
This is a junior event that is played on the US Kids format, where different age categories plays from different tees based on their skill set.
Over 80 juniors from countries like Kenya, Tanzania, UAE, South Sudan, Zimbabwe and South Africa have embraced this year's event.
This game was somehow a bit hard for me. That's why I turned 79, beaten by a Kenyan. But yesterday I was I was the leader, leading him by 3 shots. Him played 79 and for me I played 76. But today's game was a bit hard for me.
I would say yesterday I was not as focused as today, and today I put more of my focus in and stayed more calm. I would say thank you to my mom especially for coming to golf every day with me, and the rest of my family for also supporting me, and all the caddies for caddying me, and NCBA and US Kids and Lake Victoria for sponsoring this lovely tour.
In the action over 2 days, Ariana Jenny won the girls under 8 category. Aria Dodia bettered all girls between 9 and 10 years, while Arachona Tukunda reigned among the 15 to 18 years category. In the boys category, Payaso Cheng beat all between 15 and 18 years. Lucas Kimara was boys aged 9 champion. Ishan Patel aged all in the 10 years bracket, as did Ronan Patel in the 13 to 14 years.
I found this year's championship quite challenging with the rain on both days, with today being suspended on my 12th hole of the day. Otherwise, I think it went smoothly. I played really well for myself and couldn't be more happy.
Other winners in their respective categories were Ariana Bolini, Malaika Kasio, Arian Patel, Ivan Kimutai, Jordan Van Rooyen, and Jeff Keithy. Participants in this tournament qualify for prestigious international events such as the Rome Classic in Italy and the Big Five Championship in South Africa, contributing to their junior world ranking points.
I think it's a great story for Uganda because it puts us really out there on the map as well, seeing that we can have representatives from Uganda as well competing in Oga as well for us. And these are the future stars who will become pros in future.
The NCBA Junior Golf Series not only showcases the talents of young golfers, but also fosters a culture of education, integrity, friendship, discipline, and self-esteem within African communities.
And I've been caddying for all the US Kids tournament, and it has been a great experience, the bonding that we have with the child.
NCBA is committed to promoting diversity in sports and believes that initiatives like these will keep juniors focused, engaged, positively mentored, and importantly, empowered.
And that story brings us to the end of this lunchtime news edition here on UBC TV. Thank you so much for having kept us company. I am Rukidi.